Welcome to our engaging YouTube channel. Today, we're diving into a crucial and fascinating topic, the menstrual cycle. But hold on tight, because we've got something special in store for you. Before we dive into the details, make sure to join our community by hitting that subscribe button. You won't want to miss what's coming up. And hey, why not spread the knowledge? Give us a thumbs up and share this video with your friends. To stay in the loop, don't forget to tap the notification bell. Get ready for an enlightening discussion. In this video, we are going to talk about the menstrual cycle. What is menstrual cycle? Your body gets ready for pregnancy through the menstrual cycle. Your hormones instruct your uterus to shed its lining if you are not pregnant. You start your menstruation now. The cycle restarts once your menstruation arrives. From the first day of your period until the first day of your subsequent period, a menstrual cycle is defined. Menstrual cycles typically last 28 to 29 days, however each woman's cycle is unique. Women in their 20s and 30s may have cycles that last 21 to 38 days, whereas teenagers may have cycles that last 45 days. Menarche is the name for your first period. The usual age for a first period in Western nations is between 12 and 13 years old, but it can. Phases of the menstrual cycle. There are 4 main phases of the menstrual cycle. 1. Menstruation is commonly known as a period. When you menstruate, your uterus lining sheds and flows out of your vagina. Your period contains blood, mucus and some cells from the lining of your uterus. The average length of a period is 3 to 7 days. Sanitary pads, tampons, period underwear or menstrual cups can be used to absorb your period. Pads and tampons need to be changed regularly, preferably every 3 to 4 hours, and menstrual cups should be changed every 8 to 12 hours. 2. The follicular phase. The follicular phase starts on the first day of your period and lasts for 13 to 14 days, ending in ovulation. The pituitary gland in the brain releases a hormone to stimulate the production of follicles on the surface of an ovary. Usually, only one follicle will mature into an egg. This can happen from day 10 of your cycle. During this phase, your uterus lining also thickens in preparation for pregnancy. 3. Ovulation. Ovulation is when a mature egg is released from an ovary and moves along a fallopian tube towards your uterus. This usually happens once each month, about 2 weeks before your next period. Ovulation can last from 16 to 32 hours. It is possible to get pregnant in the 5 days before ovulation and on the day of ovulation, but it's more likely in the 3 days leading up to and including ovulation. Once the egg is released, it will survive up to 24 hours. If sperm reaches the egg during this time, you may get pregnant. 4. The luteal phase. After ovulation, cells in the ovary, the corpus luteum, release progesterone and a small amount of estrogen. This causes the lining of the uterus to thicken in preparation for pregnancy. If a fertilized egg implants in the lining of the uterus, the corpus luteum continues to produce progesterone, which maintains the thickened lining of the uterus. If pregnancy does not occur, the corpus luteum dies, progesterone levels drop, the uterus lining sheds and the period begins again. Frequent menstrual issues include 1. Premenstrual syndrome, PMS. Hormonal changes before periods can lead to various symptoms like bloating, headaches, tiredness, and irritability. Management involves lifestyle adjustments and dietary changes. 2. Dysmenorrhea. Painful periods caused by intense uterine contractions. Pain relief medications and oral contraceptives are used to alleviate discomfort. 3. Heavy menstrual bleeding. Excessive menstrual flow, which if untreated, can lead to anemia. Treatment options include oral contraceptives and hormonal intrauterine devices, IUDs, for flow regulation. 4. Amenorrhea. Absence of menstrual periods, abnormal except during pre-puberty, pregnancy, lactation, and postmenopause. Potential causes include extreme body weight, excessive exercise, and more. Consult a doctor if you have concerns about your menstrual health, particularly if there's a change in your period patterns. Your periods are very heavy, requiring pad, tampon changes every 2 hours. Periods last over 8 days or come closer than 21 days apart. Gaps between periods exceed 2 to 3 months. Painful symptoms hinder daily activities. You experience bleeding between periods or after sex. How the menstrual cycle takes place. The menstrual cycle is a result of intricate interactions between hormones from the brain and ovaries. This prompts the development and release of an egg from the ovary, ovulation, and the growth of the uterine lining, endometrium, in preparation for pregnancy. When hormonal signals indicate no pregnancy, the uterine lining begins to break down and detach from the uterus wall, initiating menstruation. Once the lining has fully detached, the cycle starts anew. Duration of a regular menstrual cycle. Menstrual cycles differ among women and are calculated from the first day of one period to the first day of the next. Adolescents might experience cycles lasting up to 45 days. However, by a woman's 20s-30s, a cycle typically falls within 21 to 38 days. Menstrual patterns change throughout a woman's life. They might shift after pregnancy, with some women experiencing heavier periods during perimenopause, the transition to menopause, followed by lighter and shorter periods. What to anticipate during menstruation? Bleeding during a period can vary in volume, color, and quality from cycle to cycle. It might range from light to heavy, with colors ranging from dark to bright red. Periods typically last 4 to 8 days, and women usually lose less than 80 milliliters of blood, around 1/3 of a cup, in total. Flow can change during the period, often being heavier in the first 3 days and lighter later on. Blood color reflects this change, transitioning from bright red to dark brown. The menstrual flow contains blood, mucus, and uterine lining cells. While some small clots are normal, frequent or larger clots should be evaluated by a doctor. In some women, slight spotting and/or pain might occur around ovulation, release of an egg, about 2 weeks before the next period. This is due to hormonal changes associated with ovulation. Prolonged pain or bleeding during ovulation should be discussed with the doctor. Odor, bowel habits, and premenstrual symptoms. Menstrual odor is common, but its intensity might vary. Strong odor could be related to pad, tampon usage duration. If concerned, consult a doctor. Hormones called prostaglandins, coupled with premenstrual hormonal patterns, can cause changes in bowel habits. Bowel movement difficulties before the period and looser motions during the period are not uncommon. Premenstrual symptoms can manifest 1 to 2 weeks prior to the period. These include mood changes, bloating, pimples, and tiredness. Breast pain is common, peaking in adolescence and perimenopause due to hormone fluctuations. When to consult a doctor? If there are changes in your period patterns, increasingly heavy bleeding, extended periods, over 8 days, intervals shorter than 3 weeks, intervals exceeding 2 to 3 months, severe period pain affecting daily life, bleeding between periods, or bleeding after intercourse, it's advisable to see a doctor. Your menstrual cycle is natural, but any worrisome changes warrant professional evaluation.